Hi, this is the Democratic Alliance normal weekly Labour Bulletin. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's Sunday, the 22nd of August, 2021. I have a couple of interesting topics. Foremost of the topics that we need to talk is about the EFF political interference in labour disputes. We have once spoken about and touched on it, but been very interesting what is transpiring and how it's stretching across the country. It's wrong, so we need to talk about that. There was another topic I wanted to talk about where the ANC staff, they're not the members of the ANC, but their staff in their offices, have been getting paid late every month. They say it's been going on for almost 2 years, and I want to talk about that. That might be one of the issues impeding local elections and why people need to have it postponed. I suspect there are other reasons, but that's one thing. And then finally, I wanted to talk about civil servants and their pension funds and people wanting to draw money early from their pension funds to pay off debt. So with those three interesting topics, I want to kick off immediately. So I'm Michael Bagram. I'm the Labour spokesperson for the Democratic Alliance. And if you enjoy this podcast, I would ask you to pass it on to friends, family, associates, and thank you very much for listening. It's Sunday, the 22nd of August, 2021. So let's go to the first thing. You might have heard or might have seen that labour disputes have been getting a certain amount of interference from a political sphere. The EFF, a political party, you might have heard of them, have been interfering in labour disputes. They have a so-called labour desk. I'm not sure who mans this labour desk. I don't think it's lawyers, but I'm not sure entirely who it is. And what happens is staff from around the country phone this labour desk, complain about their employer, whether it be spurious or not. I don't think it properly gets investigated. And then they go in and cause trouble and try and bully the employer to adhere to the labour demands of the staff, whether they're wage demands, unfair dismissal demands, or demotions, or whatever it is. Well, an interesting court case has now come up and has been found. It's a very interesting court case. It's the Gordon Road Spa versus the EFF. What they had done over there, the EFF had come and harassed other staff. They had blocked the entrance. They had threatened customers. In essence, what they did was they tried to almost destroy the business, because in that particular instance, a manager was demoted to a cashier who happened to be a member of the EFF. That was then a real issue. And instead of taking it down the normal route, in other words, you've always got, whenever you get demoted and you're unhappy about it, you've got access to the CCMA, to bargaining councils, to the Labour Court. You can go almost anywhere legally. You don't need to call in a political party and threaten the lives of the management and the lives of customers. But we found in this case, this is what was happening. Unfortunately, in this particular instance, it did sort of upend the business to a large degree. They were really suffering and they had to go to the court to get an interdict. The EFF's first defense, now this is how duplicitous this whole thing is, their first defense is, well, don't blame us, blame the people. If they must pay the costs or they must go to jail, that's not us. Our manager in the branch that wrote the letter wasn't authorized to write the letter, so we want nothing to do with it. They tried to absolve themselves completely, despite the fact a letter was written from their manager on their letterhead, and their office was handling the entire dispute. They said, no, blame our members. We'll throw them under the bus. We've got no problem with that. Well, that didn't wash. The judge in that particular case said, no, it's on your letterhead. It's run through your office. It's your members. They're wearing your regalia. You are the people that are responsible. So the first thing we see is that they caused untold trouble and then try to pretend it wasn't them. They didn't come and try and justify why it was necessary to do what they did. This is what's happened in that particular case. Now, I'm getting in reports. I got another report from the Eastern Cape 2 days ago, where, again, the EFF are interfering in a labour dispute. Well, there's another dispute that also landed up in front of Judge Snyman, the Calgan Lounge dispute, a very interesting one where the EFF again got involved, and I want to look down at a piece of paper and just read out some of the things that the judge said there, which, I mean, it's unbelievable the way this actually took place. And there the judge said, what the EFF did in this case was to undermine orderly collective bargaining and dispute resolution, which are the cornerstones of the Labour Relations Act. As an employer, the applicant is entitled to expect its employees to comply with the objectives of the Labour Relations Act when seeking to resolve any dispute they may have with the applicant as employer. I mean, this is really strange stuff. Here's another one, another paragraph from the judge. The judge went on to state that where it comes to the EFF and its functionaries, it simply should not stick its nose where it does not belong. Nothing in this judgment can serve in any way to prejudice the legitimate functions and activities of the EFF in an arena where it belongs. In other words, the judge was saying they must back out. They must back out of this dispute resolution process. I'm not sure why they've got a labour desk. The labour desk should be doing what any other labour desk does, and that is try and resolve disputes between citizens and government. Like we do at the Democratic Alliance, we very carefully don't get involved in individual labour disputes. Where we get involved is when people say they haven't got their unemployment insurance monies. We try and help them get that. If they haven't been paid their compensation monies from the compensation fund, we try and help them with that. If they're not getting an inspector to come and investigate premises, we try and help them with that. We do not get involved in individual legal disputes and threaten the way the EFF has done. And there we see two direct court cases against them. In both cases they lost, both cases they had to pay the costs. But that EFF desk, unfortunately, is still very active, and it's a menace, and I think it's absolutely wrong. So I don't know what the answer is, but this is very nasty, and it's reminiscent of what took place in the early 30s in Europe. I just wanted to talk about two other things that I had alluded to, and that was the CCMA itself. Obviously is trying and resolve certain issues. One of those issues, and I'm not sure if the CCMA has got involved yet, is that the ANC staff haven't been paid, and they get paid late every month. They're on a go slow at the moment, which might be an issue as to why we want to postpone, or they want to postpone the local government elections, which are supposed to have taken place at the end of October. They're applying to court to see if they can get it for February next year. I also suspect they don't have any support at the moment because of state capture. People are starting to get their eyes open. But the essence of it is their staff are getting paid late, they're on a go slow, and they're not prepared to help the ANC get its act together to put up candidates for the local government election. So let's watch that space carefully. The Democratic Alliance is looking at it very carefully. And the third topic I wanted to talk about today, a very interesting one, is access to pension monies. Now, when you have a certain amount of fund built up in your pension fund, you do, under certain circumstances, qualify to get a loan from that. You can take money from the pension monies to pay off what you owe, or if you've had problems at home, or if you need a new roof or something like that, you can get it. Well, the government at the moment is standing in the way of civil servants being able to take monies out of their pension fund. And quite frankly, it's wrong. What this is doing is it's forcing individuals to either resign and get all their pension money so they can spend the whole lot, which is silly, or to go to loan sharks and get money from loan sharks at usurious interest rates, and then never being able to pay back, and then you've got real problems. And we're hoping that the government has a rethink on this, instead of forcing people to go to loan sharks or to resign. I, in my field of labour law, hear of people resigning almost every day to access their pension money because they owe so much to the loan sharks and then hopefully trying to get their jobs back. So thank you for listening to me today. I really appreciate it. It's Sunday, the 22nd of August, 2021. Michael Bagram from the Democratic Alliance. I appreciate it.